Hi YouTube, vidhead85 here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about a video that the most honest 3.5 minutes on the telly. The newsroom had a show, or had an episode where this woman asked, "Can you tell us what makes America the greatest nation in the world?" And I submit that Israel is far better as far as human rights than we are. Because, I mean, you know, they at least validate their gay and lesbian citizens and the ones that basically cannot do anything for them. Also, I'm sure that the rich are not at the hands of the government all the time, at least. And now, as far as Israel, as far as I'm concerned, they have a right to defend themselves. And when you have a group of nations that are all around you that want to destroy you, I don't care. Honestly, as far as I'm concerned, if the Palestinians want a state, they would have had it already if they didn't insist on shrinking Israel to its pre-1967 borders, which includes Golan Heights. And usually when they're invaded and they've been taken over, it's always come from the north. Why? Because that's where they're most vulnerable. But anyway, as I am digressing, America is not the greatest country in the world simply because we are corrupt. I mean, we're making a big stink over universal health care, but then again, people are saying that we're pro-life, but then again, we're not. We're against health care because it's a big government Ponzi scheme or whatever. But then again, the whole thing, as far as I'm concerned, is insurance itself is a Ponzi scheme when you really look at it. But I want to be able to make sure that my kids can have access to health care, and that, well, the most of the things that in Obamacare people like is just the Obama part that most people don't like about the Obamacare deal. And they're looking at the fact that it's government mandated or whatever. Well, you know what? Universal health care hasn't killed Canada or Western Europe or any of the countries that mandate it already. So yeah, just get the F over it. We also spend more. We are #1 in incarcerated persons per capita, which is because of all these crazy little laws that we make to show that we're tough on crime. But all it really means is we're tough on minorities, and the minorities are the worst things in the world. So why don't we just do whatever we can to lock them up? And you know what? Also, oh wait, we spend 12 times on a prisoner than we do on their school books. So of course they're gonna go to jail. I mean, if they're not in school, they're gonna be truant, and if they're truant, they're gonna be in the juvenile detention system. And then after they're in the juvenile detention system, they'll go to the adult prison system, which isn't much worse. Well, actually, it quite is. Well, I mean, hell, it's like a wholesale. Hey, which criminal do you want? The murderer, the murderer, the thief, or wait a minute, hold on. We have a molester here. We have a pedophile here. So which one do you want? I'm not saying well, then again, that you deserve to be tough on. But, you know, all these uneven laws, especially with drugs, how can we, like, say that a gram of cocaine is like an appearance ticket, but a gram of coke crack is like 20 years in prison? That's because crack is disproportionate, is mostly in the black community. And what? Coke is usually among the wealthier, affluent kind of individuals. But anyway, the whole thing, but also we spend more on our military than we ever have on healthcare. But then again, the ones who like to bolster our military are saying that's too much money, and they voted 30 times to repeal it, and they spent taxpayer money on that as opposed to you know, things that we actually need, and any oil subsidies. And corporations are like galore in our politics, and by the very laws that we're making and the very way that our tax code is written, yeah, America is not the greatest country in the world because it's corrupt. And you know what? When corruption is the order of the day, the nation is falling. Not only falling, it is disappearing. So as far as I'm concerned, America is not the greatest country in the world. And I also say to especially the Christo-fascists who are definitely wanted to take over this government for them, if you want a place with no universal health care, abortion is illegal, and so is homosexuality, which are the two main things that a lot of repubs vote on. That a lot of people, when they're looking at who to vote for, they say against gays and abortion. Okay, great, it's all for me. Women don't have any rights. They can't even probably vote or drive. What is it? Let me see. There are just so many other things, especially the whole no universal health care. Go to Iran, because that's where it all is. And guess what? The reason why they probably rebuke Iran so much is probably because they want to model themselves after Iran, or Iran rather. And most of the people there consider themselves Persian, which Persia was a whole empire that stretched as through much of the known world of the time. But I digress. Anyway, Christo-fascists, if you want to go and live in a country that's modeled after what you like, except for the fact that it's Muslim and they're probably going to kill a Christian the moment that they know they're Christian. Go to Iran, because, you know, Iran has every single thing that you want, you know, except for the fact that all the women are going to have to wear burqas. Michelle Bachmann burqa, you know, yeah, we should name it that. But anyway, yeah, America's no longer the greatest country in the world. We don't have freedom. Our government's taking power instead of living by the consent of the governed. And as far as I'm concerned, I love America. I really do. But America's full of bullshit. And we need to acknowledge that too. Have a great day, YouTube.